Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, my dear students. Here is your mathematics teacher Muhammad Amjad Saeed from Pakistan International School, Thai, Saudi Arabia. Today we will continue our lecture number 52. And last time we started our exercise 4.4 and we have solved two parts from question number 1. Find cube roots of unity. We have found cube roots of -8, cube roots of 64, and here is cube roots of unity. And you know that they are 1 minus 1 plus 3 under root iota over 2 minus 1 minus 3 under root iota over 2. This is cube roots of unity. Now we will continue our question number 2 by applying these values. Here is question number 2. Part 2. Part number 2 is part number 3 is given to you in your reduced syllabus. 1 plus omega minus omega square. Part number 3. 1 plus omega minus omega square into 1 minus omega plus omega square. 1 minus omega plus omega square. First of all, we will write down terms with positive sign first. We will write down the terms with positive sign first. 1 plus omega, and here is 1 plus omega square first. As you know that from here 1 plus omega square is equal to 0. As we know that 1 plus omega square is equal to 0, what will be the value of 1 plus omega? That is minus omega square. This is value of 1 plus omega is minus omega square, and 1 plus omega square is minus omega. Value of 1 plus omega square from here, it will be minus omega. Now replacing the values of these 1 plus omega, we will have minus omega square minus omega square. Then 1 plus omega square is minus omega square. Here is minus 2 omega square. Here is minus 2 omega. Minus minus plus and 4 omega cube. Remember that. What about omega cube? That is equal to 1. So 4 into 1 is equal to 4. Dear students, this was your part number 3. After that, we are given part number 5. Same question, part number 5. We have to solve that by using the rules what I have written. Minus 1 plus minus 3 under root power 5. Minus 1 plus minus 3 under root power 5. Minus 1 minus 3 under root and power 5. Okay, dear students, look at that. Minus 1 plus 3 under root iota power 5. Here is minus 1 minus 3 under root iota power 5. Remember that minus 3 under root is actually 3 under root iota, because minus 1 under root is equal to iota. Even we have seen that. And remember that there is a positive sign inside. Okay, dear students, what is missing here? Something is missing. If you check these cube roots of unity, 2 in the denominator, 2 is missing. Because we want to introduce these 2 here so that we can apply omega and omega square here in this expression. So it is easy multiplying above and below by 2 with whole power as 5. Inside power 5, multiplying above and below by 2. Similarly, same way, multiplying above and below by 2 in the second term and whole power is 5. Now, dear student, what is this? This is omega, and this one is omega square. So you can have 2 omega power 5 and 2 omega square power 5. It will be 2 power 5 omega 5 and 2 power 5 omega 10. Remember that power over power both are multiplied. Here we can have 2 power 5 is 32, and omega 5 can be written as omega cube into omega square. Why I am drawing like this? Basically omega cube is equal to 1, I am using that. And 32, omega 10 can be written as omega 3 power whole 3 into omega. Basically omega cube power 3, omega 9, and this one is omega 10. We have that. Now 32, take common 32, and here will be 1 into omega square plus 1 cube into omega. 32 into omega square plus omega. Remember that again, move to this part number 1, property number 1. Omega plus omega square, bring this one on the other side. Omega plus omega square is equal to minus 1. So we can have 32 into minus 1, that is minus 32. Dear students, this is your answer. I hope that you understood this question. After this, we have question number 3. In question number 3, show that basically we have to prove left hand side is equal to right hand side. These are the formulas given in terms of omega and omega square, and we will simplify them to get the required answer. Here we can have question number 3. Yes. Dear students, question number 3, we can have show that x cube minus y cube is equal to x minus y into x minus omega y into x minus omega square y. Here is left hand side. First of all, you must remember the formula of a cube minus b cube. What was the formula of a cube minus b cube? Remove 3 and 3, a minus b into first square plus ab plus b square. Dear students, this is the formula of a cube minus b cube. Remove 3 and 3, a minus b. Then first square, if here is negative sign, you will write down positive here. Plus first into second, plus second square. If this is positive sign, here is positive and here will be negative. So we have a cube plus b cube formula, the sign below, and we have a cube minus b cube formula, the sign up. Here you can have right hand side, x minus y into x minus omega phi and x minus omega square y. Remember that in case of formula, first bracket is a minus b or x minus y as it is. Here we will multiply these two brackets and we will get like this. Here will be x square minus omega square xy minus omega xy plus omega cube y square. First you take x and multiply by x, then x with this omega square xy, then omega y by x, omega xy, and then minus minus plus omega cube y square. Here is x minus y into x square minus xy common inside omega square plus omega, and omega cube is 1. Minus xy taken as common, and we are left with inside omega cube square plus omega. And what about omega plus omega square? Take 1 on the other side, and instead of omega square plus omega, you will apply minus 1. Here is x minus y. So it is x minus y into x square plus xy plus y square. Dear students, you can check this right hand side. This is exactly like this one. So we have a minus b square plus ab plus b square, x minus y, x square plus xy plus y square, and that is equal to x cube minus y cube is equal to left hand side. We started from right hand side and finished at right hand side, left hand side. After that we have question number 3, part 2 and 3. In case of part number 2, you will multiply the two brackets, and left hand side is actually a formula. X cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xy and z. This is x plus y plus z. Dear students, I am giving you the hint. Similar question. Actually, left hand side is a formula. When you open it, then we can get x plus y plus z into first square plus second square plus third square minus first second minus second third and minus third first. Remember that you can check this formula. Right hand side must be this one. When you multiply last two brackets of your right hand side, after applying omega plus omega square as minus 1 and omega cube is equal to 1, you will reach this conclusion, this answer. So in this way, left hand side will be equal to right hand side. I hope that you can do it. And if you could not, okay, no problem, contact me and inshallah we'll do it. After that we have its last part. Part number 3, question number 3 and part number 3. What is question number 3 in part 3? Here is 1 plus omega square. 1 plus omega into 1 plus omega square into 1 plus omega 4 into 1 plus omega 8 up to so on 2n factors is equal to 1. Dear students, look at this question. We have to prove that left hand side is equal to right hand side. Left hand side has 2n factors. So taking left hand side, 1 plus omega, 1 plus omega square, 1 plus omega 4, 1 plus omega 8 up to so on 2n factors. Dear students, I want to give you the idea. For example, we have 100 factors. 2n factors, suppose 100 factors. If I take these blocks of 2 and 2 like this, then how many terms will left? Remember that, for example, there are 100 terms. 100 terms. And if I am writing down 2 blocks of 2 and 2, how many terms will left? Definitely half of the term will left. It will become 50. So if 2n is 100 term, then 50 will be n factors. Because we have written two brackets as a single entity, and 2n will changes to half of this 2n, 100 changes to 50 terms, 2n changes to n factors. Now we multiply them. 1 plus omega square plus omega cube. Then 1 plus omega 8 plus omega 4 plus omega 12 up to so on n factors. Remember, our right hand side is 1. We have to prove it. Here is 1 plus omega square is equal to 0. 1 plus omega square plus omega is equal to 0 and omega cube is 1. Remember that this omega 8 can be written as omega cube square into omega. Omega 4 can be written as omega cube into omega. Omega 12 can be written as omega cube power 4 as n factors. Dear students, we have written in terms of omega cube so that we can apply 1 in place of omega cube. Here is 1 into 1 plus 1 square omega plus omega cube again. This is square. Yes, this will be square. And here is omega cube is 1 and omega plus omega cube 1 power 4. So on n factors. Dear students, we are left with 1 into 1 plus omega square plus omega plus 1 n factors. Remember that 1 into 1 plus omega square plus omega is 0. 1 into 1 into 1 up to so on n factors. In this way, we have n terms with 1 as its entity. So we are having 1 into 1 into 1 into up to so on n times our n factors. And remember that 1 multiplied by n times, that will be equal to 1 power n. For example, if 1 is multiplied 10 times, it will become 1 power 10. And 1 is multiplied n times, it will become 1 power n, and that is 1 power n is 1 always. So that is equal to right hand side. Dear students, in this way, we got our answer as 1 of your question number 3, part 3. After that, we have question number 4. If omega is the root of x square plus x plus 1, show that its other root is omega square and prove that omega cube is equal to 1. Okay, if omega is the root of this equation, show that its other root will be omega square. Question number 4. Question number 4. If omega is the one root of x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0, then show that its other root will be omega square. Other root is equal to omega square. We have to find it. Similarly, also omega cube is equal to 1. Dear students, one root is omega, another root we have to find it. And after that, after multiplying them, we must get this omega cube is equal to 1. Okay. This is your quadratic equation. And here you can have A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C is equal to 1. Using quadratic formula, x is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac under root over 2a. X is equal to minus 1 plus minus 1 square minus 4 into 1 into 1 divided by 2 into 1. So x is equal to minus 1 plus minus 1 minus 4 under root over 2. So we have x is equal to minus 1 plus minus 3 under root over 2. So it is minus 1 plus minus 1 under root and 3 under root over 2. I have written minus 3 under root as minus 1 into under root into 3 under root. Because multiplication, we can divide, we can separate up this square root sign. Here we can have x is equal to minus 1 plus minus 3 under root iota over 2. Actually, this minus 1 under root is iota. So you can write down minus 1 plus 3 under root iota over 2 and minus 1 minus 3 under root iota over 2. Dear students, this was your quadratic equation. After solving, we have found its two answers. The question is, if one root is deemed as omega, then we have to show that it is omega square. The second root is omega square. So how can we get? Basically, we will take this x value as omega. So we will take square on both sides. After simplifying, we will get this right hand side will be equal to this one. So this is what we have to prove. Here is, suppose this value of x is omega. So omega is equal to minus 1 plus 3 under root iota over 2. Squaring both sides. Squaring both sides. Okay, this is omega square. Now, dear students, write down in the proper order. Positive term first and negative. In the second position, 3 under root iota first and minus 1 whole square. And this is 2 square is 4. Remember that this square is on both. So, numerator square over denominator square. Now, omega square will be equal to first square minus 2 into first into second plus second square whole divided by 4. Omega square is equal to, remember that this square will cancel this square root sign. This will be 3 iota square. Minus 2 into 3 under root iota plus 1 over 4. Dear students, we have now omega square is equal to 3 into minus 1. Here, iota square, this is iota square which is equal to minus 1. So I am applying here iota square as minus 1 value, that is minus 2 into 3 under root iota plus 1 divided by 4. Omega square is minus 3 minus 2 into 2 into 3 under root iota plus 1 over 4. Omega square is equal to minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. Here we can have minus 2 into 3 under root iota over 4. Dear students, you can take 2 common from here. Inside will be minus 1 minus 3 under root iota over 4. This is cancelled out. And you can check the second value of x is minus 1 minus 3 under root iota over 2. That is omega square. That was the question. So other root is omega square. So we have second root as omega square of the given equation. After that, the second question which was asked, it was asked that omega cube is equal to 1. We have to prove it. Yes? Omega cube is equal to 1. Taking left hand side, omega cube, you can write down omega cube as omega into omega square. Dear students, you can write down omega cube as omega into omega square. What about the value of omega? Minus 1 plus 3 under root iota over 2. Minus 1 minus 3 under root iota over 2. Remember that this is a plus b, a minus b. That will be a square minus first square minus second square over 4. 2 into 2 is 4. Here is a square, that is minus b square. So dear students, we will solve it. 1 minus 2 and square root are cancelled out. This will be 3. This is iota square over 4. You know that 1 minus 3 into iota square is minus 1. Iota square is minus 1. So that will be 1 plus 3 over 4. 4 over 4, that is equal to 1, which is equal to right hand side. Dear students, you can check. We have taken left hand side as omega cube, applied the values, applied the formula, and after simplification, you have this 1, which is equal to right hand side. So in this way, I hope that you understood this question. And dear students, inshallah, we will do the next question in the next lecture. So what I left for you, you can do it at home, and they are not so difficult. And keep on revising your syllabus at home. Inshallah, we may have the test in the near future, and you can prepare these questions in such a way that you can attempt in the sense of your objective of these questions. Some in your syllabus in first year and second year, most of the questions in MCQ, they are not so simple. They have at least 3 to 4 steps to solve, and then you will reach your answer. So in this way, short question, very very short question, 2 to 3 steps or 4 steps can be in your objective part. So get ready for that. Okay, Allah Hafiz and Assalamu Alaikum.